Good morning. So I'm Shannon, everyone. I work for PMD Alliance as the manager of our InSync network for support group leaders across the country. And I'm so grateful to be able to work with you all on a regular basis, even though we are stuck at home and on Zoom and our computers all the time. At least we get to see each other's faces and connect in this way. So very grateful for that. And then on the other end of that, yes, Roger, very happy that this is going on. Hoping that you're able to do that with your group members in your community. So just really trying to get us all used to this format and be able to enjoy each other's presence. So again, thank you for being here. Happy holidays, whatever you might celebrate. And I just wanted to introduce Trang, who is with me. She's been on several of these roundtables and trainings, so just want to let you know that she is here to support us. And thank goodness she's here to support me and what I'm trying to do. But you're always welcome to ask her questions. She's really great at what she does. She knows a lot about computers and things that I don't know. Okay, so as we begin, if we could please rename ourselves. That's something I love to do just to give us that experience or that practice. So if you hover your mouse over your own image, you're going to find an ellipsis menu with 3 dots. You can click on that, and then the drop-down menu is rename. You can put your first name and your city in which you live. Okay. There we are. Hi, Joyce in Lincoln. Yep, Roger out in Indiana, David in California. Thanks to everybody for doing that. That helps me remember people as well, where you're from, what communities. So, okie dokie. So why don't we go ahead and get started? We've got some fun, zany things to try today. I hope that you can see I wore my, my crazy 1970s Christmas sweater for you. I pull that out once a year. And Trang, thanks to her for being fun as well. Are those reindeer? Yeah, very, very cute. So that's just a way for us to show that we're being silly. We're getting outside of our comfort zone, our box, mixing it up a little bit. And that just, I think for me at least, it makes me feel like it's a different day and a different week. It's not just the same routine. And just to do something a little bit special, I put red lipstick on, so that's also very special for me. That doesn't happen very often. Alrighty, so I'm going to start sharing my PowerPoint with you as we get started. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing my PowerPoint. Yes, Trang? Okay, good. So this is our holiday edition of our roundtable. We are here to discuss ways to have fun on Zoom, because sometimes it's a little stilted. It's a little difficult. We're not with each other. We can't share those immediate energetic vibes and lift each other's spirits in the ways that we have for our entire lives. So this is just such a different world that we're in right now. How can we have fun on Zoom during our holiday meetings? And I know I want to recognize that some of you might have already had your holiday meeting, like Mary Jane, but you could potentially have smaller little get-togethers over the next month, even if it's with your family or just a select group of people So just keep this in mind, not only for your major holiday parties, but just Zoom get-togethers in general. And you can think about that into the future, what that might mean for holidays or special celebrations of some sort, birthdays, and things like that. So, as we've talked about already, you can make a meeting feel a little bit more festive by wearing something very specific to the occasion. And you can have snacks. I saved a little bit of my French press coffee just to make it feel like we're having coffee and cookies together, which is always fun to do when we're in person. We as humans, we can really connect and relate over food. That's just something we obviously have done forever and ever. So thinking about making something different by asking people to bring hot cocoa, cookies, things like that, just to make it feel a little more homey, a little more cozy. So another way we can change the view, the image, the interaction, the visual of being on a meeting together, we can do special virtual backgrounds, video filters, and studio effects, which I'll go through briefly once I get through the agenda for the day. So that's what we'll start with. You can do games online. So today we're going to do a little holiday trivia. So we're going to try that out. We're going to do it ourselves and model it, so to speak, so that if you think that that could be applied to your group meeting, this is just a way for you to experience it as a participant, and then you'll also be learning how to do it in the moment as well. And so I'm here to support you in that if you would need any direction. Along with food, I think that singing and dancing is always a very fun activity to do with group members. I know that many of you might have choir, Parkin singers or tremble clefs. There might be Parkinson's choirs in your area, choir directors, or even a church choir director, someone who could potentially help out with that on an online meeting. And then Dance for Parkinson's, of course, is a very popular program across the country and even the world. And so you might even have a guest teacher who'd be willing to come on and do a special little holiday dance. Think about that. But today, I'm going to give you a little bit of instruction as to how you might lead a little chorus. And it's maybe not as hard as you think. Okay. The annotation tool, so that's just a little visual aid. It's a visual kind of interactive, engaging tool that Zoom offers. I'm not going to go through that today because we did to some extent last week on the December 7th training, which is recorded. So you can refer to that if you'd like to learn a little bit more about how to have people mark on their screen using stamps and even writing or drawing, things like that, so everyone can participate in that. Breakout rooms, we like to use those during our roundtables, of course, just to have smaller groups be able to share more, and that everyone has a chance to talk, because obviously in larger groups, not everyone feels comfortable, A, and B, there's just not enough time for everyone to share in a large group. So I'm encouraging you to utilize these breakout rooms. They're not hard to do. We're going to do that today. And again, we're going to be modeling what you can do with your groups. Okay, so I'll explain a little bit more when we get to that. And finally, with those breakout rooms, we're going to be exploring some of your ideas. So you might have already had some fun Zoom meetings that you've led with your groups already, or you might just come up with ideas, have things ready to share with your colleagues on this call. So during our breakout rooms, we're going to ask you to share your ideas with one another and then come back to the main group. And so we're going to leave today, hopefully, with a handful of great ideas that you can utilize in the future. Okay, everyone. I'm going to stop my share so I can see you for a moment. And let's see. So Trang, if you're going to keep an eye on the chat for me, let me know if there's anything I should address as we go. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and share. I need to allow you to see my Zoom windows. So I'm going to make that selection now. Okay. Thank you for your patience. And now I'm going to share my desktop with you so that you can see my process of changing my virtual background. So some of you have already done that. Oh, look at Mark with his fun hat. It's long. It's a long one. Great. And then, so Marilyn, I see, she has a virtual background already. So she's got kind of that nature grass background. So we've discussed this before as a way to potentially mask your background, depending on where you are in your home. It might be a little less distracting to have that virtual background there. So what I'm going to do is show you how to like take a photograph that either you have taken yourself or maybe you have found an image online that you would like to be your virtual background. So let's see, what do I want to do? So you are seeing my mouse in all of my windows train. Okay, so what I have done is I have already gone onto the internet and I thought about what it is that would make me excited during the holidays and what kind of background do I want to have. So I did a little search for an image of like the inside of a cozy lodge, like a mountain lodge with like snow outside. Like, to me, that's the big ideal. So what I did is I took a screenshot of that image, and so I hope you can see here that I have my desktop. When I took the screenshot of that image, it saved to my desktop immediately. And so this is my ideal holiday vacation. And so this is what I have chosen for my background today. Now, just so you can see how this works, if I want to go to the video camera at the bottom left-hand corner, the caret, and I go to video settings, I'm going to open up this ground control that I like to call it. So as I go down here, I see background and filters as an option. If I click on that, virtual backgrounds, which is highlighted in blue here, you'll see that these are the default. So Maryland, for instance, is using this grass, and then you'll see a lot of folks using these. But it's really fun if you can add a festive virtual background. And so what I would do is I see this add image plus sign here. I'm going to click on that. And I want to add an image. I would probably not recommend adding a video, which is kind of like a moving video behind you, just because it's A, distracting, and then B, it's going to take up a lot more bandwidth and it's going to make the call less successful. So I would just add an image here. And when that happens, it just pulls up my Finder. So my desktop is already highlighted, and I'm going to go up to the Cozy Lodge photo and I open it. And so it appears here. And so now you can see that my virtual background is the lodge, all right? And so that can be kind of a fun way to change it up, mix it up, which is what we're trying to do. It is a different day, a new day of a new week. And if I ever wanted to get rid of this background, I would have to go to the none, this black none, and click on that, okay? But since we're in our holiday edition virtual roundtable, I'm going to keep my background here, even if it makes my hair look a little funny. Okay, so I wanted to also show you another feature here. Right next to virtual backgrounds is video filters. We went over this a little bit last week, but this is a way to make smaller changes to your image. So this here is an example Prancer of a holiday video filter. So if I were to click on that, you can see that I have this kind of video filter, and I become like a moving animated reindeer here. So that's something that you can do. It might be a little much to have the background and the video filter going at the same time, but it's really fun to scroll through these. You can add smiley faces, and I just would invite you to play with that. Again, I need to go back to none in order to get rid of that video filter. And now finally, something that I discovered recently, which was kind of fun, is the studio effects here, and it says beta, which means it's still in testing, but it's kind of a fun thing to take a look at. So if I click on the studio effects here in the bottom right-hand corner, this pane shows up on the left. Now, I'm not sure in what capacity, these might be helpful, but if I wanted to make my eyebrows a little bit more pronounced, there you go. I don't know if you can see that. So it changes your appearance, but it's seeing your face and then it's placing some subtle changes. And so there's colors here. Oh, my hair is a little bit more auburn, so yeah, so maybe I didn't put my makeup on today and I wanted to have a little bit more emphasis, so it's just kind of silly, but it's something to know is here. This might be a little bit more on the humorous side. I could give myself a goatee sort of situation, and I can increase the opacity of this by this slider. And you see now that I have kind of a little mustache going on. Yeah, I don't know. Frida Kahlo, I'm not sure, maybe. So lip color is another option. And I can even go crazy and say I want to have blue lips today. Isn't that kind of funny? So it's just, you just don't know what Zoom's going to come up with next. Okay, so I am going to, and you're gonna, if you see this crossed out circle thing, that's the none. I don't know why it's different here, but that's how I get rid of it. So I'm going to close this and close my Zoom settings window and come back to you. So hopefully you've gotten some ideas on how to be a little bit silly, a little bit fun with the view and the image that you're showing during a holiday meeting. Okay, so, is there anything I need to address as far as the screenshot? Okay, so Kelly, yes, I didn't use an original JPEG just because I used an image that I found on the internet. If I took a photograph that I wanted to use as a background, that would probably be in JPEG format and would probably be of better quality. Where are you, Kelly? Do I even see you? Maybe oh, there she is. Thank you. So yes, so that is an option, and it's pretty easy, to add most different kind of file formats. It works pretty well. Okay, so let us go back to my screen share. I need to stop sharing my desktop. I need to stop sharing my Zoom windows. And then I'm going to share my PowerPoint with you again. Okay. Here we go. So moving on. So we just mentioned briefly the ability to play games online. So this is something that I think we could all do pretty easily. So today I felt like we could try a little holiday trivia. Mary Jane, she had some assistance with some of our staff on a game on sort of game show style application. It was a third-party application, which we can do a trivia game without that complexity is what I wanted to share with you today. So it's just something that I needed to do a little preparation for from the get-go, just so that it would all be ready and I have a PowerPoint slide as my visual, so I'm not using a third-party application. So I thought that you could attempt this today, and we can discuss as well like how you want to hold a game, like a trivia game like this. So you can either have people unmute themselves to say, I know the answer. You can have them wave their hands, but then you might need a secondary person watching, like Trang, because if I am sharing my screen and sharing my PowerPoint, I can only see 5 people at a time, and I can't see the whole group, so that a waving would not help me. You can also offer to people that they can click the raise hand button. So Trang, if you could make sure that I'm saying this right, that if they have their participants pane open on your screen, so you find your participants button in the middle, bottom, center of your menu bar, and Yes, it looks like who just raised their hand? I can't see.
Carol just found it. Perfect.
Okay.
Marilyn,
Great. So you
good.
can see that you can have people raising their hand and like it's kind of a buzzer situation, like on a game show where the first person to raise their hand is the one who gets to try the answer first. Okay, so you have it takes a little bit of watching, and you would most definitely need that second pair of eyes or even a third pair of eyes to keep watching. So if you can go ahead and unraise your hand, the blue little button by clicking on it again, and so that we're all back to clear. And maybe what I'll do here. Yeah. So Tring, if you could keep an eye out, and let's go ahead and try this first question here. Who was the author of A Christmas Carol? So using your raised hand button, I saw, can you see, is it Oro Valley? I can't see who it is though.
Harold, I saw Harold.
Harold, can you please unmute yourself?
Oh,
There it goes. Got it. It wouldn't really. Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens. Very good. So I have written the question and then I have subsequently written the answer next to it, but of course they need to be separate items, and so they don't come up at the same time and give the answer away. Okay, next question. Which department store was featured in the film Miracle on 34th Street? Was it Judy?
Mm-hmm.
Judy from Sun City.
Macy's.
Good job, Macy's. Woohoo! Excellent. All right.
You know, actually, it's Macy's and Gimbel's.
we have an expert.
The Santa is in Macy's, but he's the one that gets Macy's and Gimbel's to work together. If people can't find it in one store, they go to the other.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you.
That's part of the
Wow. I need to update my answer. Wow. How long ago was it since you've seen Miracle on 34th Street, Harold?
35, 40 years.
And you remember that? That's amazing. Steel trap mind. Awesome.
Thank you.
Good. Okay. So we have our next question here. What does the word Hanukkah mean?
Jan has her hand raised.
Jan, can you unmute yourself? I'm going to help you by asking you to unmute. So I've clicked the button. There you go.
Festival of Lights.
Festival of Lights. That's not what I found in my research.
Dedication.
Yes, yes. Or actually, I think in my research, I found the word rededication. So okay. I saw dedication, rededication. It's probably, obviously, with translating from one language to another, it's never exactly, it's just a loose interpretation. So rededication, that was news to me. So yes, thank you, Jan. Okay, next we have, what made Frosty the Snowman come to life?
Harold?
The old top hat.
Yes, the old silk hat. Exactly. Good. Okay, moving on. What is the most popular meal for Christmas in Japan?
Freddie?
You know Freddie?
KFC.
You're right. Who knew other than Freddie? I was like, what? Did you know that too, Harold? I guess apparently there are lines around the corner at KFCs in Japan around Christmas, and people wait like an entire day before. They have to get in line on Christmas Eve.
The only way I knew that, my daughter taught me that.
Really? Did she live there?
Well, she actually lived last year. She was in Korea.
Okay.
For the whole year. And she took a side trip to Japan, and that's where she found out. And they said, like, these big signs in the KFC was, join us for Christmas dinner. And she asked them about it, and then went, oh yeah, they said it's our biggest day of the year.
Oh my goodness. So funny.
Who knew?
Who knew? I know. And how did that start? It's hilarious, the cultural things. Okay, moving on. So we have which popular sitcoms characters celebrated the holiday Festivus for the rest of us?
Harold, I think raise first.
Yeah, let Judy answer it.
All right, Judy.
I think it's Friends.
Not
How
Friends.
about Jan? Can she answer it?
Seinfeld.
There you go.
Woohoo! Seinfeld.
I have to
Festivus for the
Friends.
rest of us. What was that, Judy?
Friends.
Exactly. Similar, but yes, not exactly. Yes, New York at least. Great. Okay, the word Kwanzaa comes from what language?
Oh, we've got Harold.
Let Juliana answer it.
Juliana,
Is it Swahili?
you are correct. Good job. I didn't know that one either. Okay, great. We've got one more here. What country is the poinsettia plant native to?
Mary Jean?
Mary Jane, can you unmute yourself? You're on TV.
All right. Mexico?
Mexico, good job. Yes, these poinsettia plants, they're just in the trees apparently.
Yes.
It's quite, hard to imagine, right? We equate poinsettias, or I always have, with cold weather and snow. And then you think about where it comes from in this really warm climate.
Is it a relationship with the tree like mistletoe? Mistletoe.
I
Basically.
do think that, yeah. So it's in trees. It's not a tree itself, I don't believe. But yes, so just the few pictures that I saw in my research of it, it's just like it's all up in the tree with its green leaves and its red petals. So quite something to see.
Shannon,
Great.
Shannon,
Yes. Who is this speaking?
this is Barbara Rink.
Hi, Barbara. I can't see you yet. You haven't
Uh,
popped up for me.
Well, I'm here. I was in Kenya a number of years ago and visited the Karen Blitzen estate, and I saw the most beautiful poinsettia tree, and it had all these little white butterflies. They were like white monarchs, so they were small, but it was just the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I had taken a picture and I used it as my Christmas card that year.
Oh my goodness, that sounds
It was a
beautiful.
huge tree.
So Barbara, I'm gonna try to find you. There you are. Okay, would you might you have that on your computer somewhere and you could make your virtual background?
You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted. Hold on one second. There
I
you
got
are.
it. I missed your first part on how to change that and get the picture, but I will do that.
Yeah, you should. That sounds beautiful, and it's a good story.
Ah,
It's a nice share with people. So good. So I'm going to stop my share just so I can see you all. It's sometimes frustrating when I can't see everyone's faces. So does anyone see? Oh, it is a tree. Who wrote that? Kelly. So it's a tree itself, the poinsettia tree. Wow, I just think of them as the small pots, right? And so maybe they grow huge in the right climate. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. So does anyone, do not eat poinsettia. Phil, thank you. Note to self, I think it's poisonous, isn't it? Maybe even with your pets. You have to be careful with your pets as well. Does anyone think that they might be able to utilize some kind of trivia game like that with their group? Is that something that you find fun? It gets you thinking in a different way. And you can go on all sorts of tangents. If anyone would like that, it's not very pretty in format right now, but I went online. I copy and pasted probably 50 different questions in one and put them in an Excel document. If anyone wants that, I can include that in the follow-up email, and you might just look through and see if you can pull out what's fun to you. And you can
Oh,
get in.
can I-
Good.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course. Where are you? Oh, it's Mary
Hi,
Jane.
it's Mary Jane. Quick question. Okay, so as you put that on there and it looked great, you did that one by a PowerPoint, is that correct? So you put it on there and then you did your transition so that you brought in the answer as a different slide with just a second click. Is that a correct statement?
Yes. If you can, let me see how I want to do this. I'm going to share my PowerPoint with you, but from the creation look of it. So can you see how I can modify this?
Okay, gotcha.
So
Okay.
what I've done is that I've created two different columns. I have a column here for the questions with bullets, and then I have a separate column with the answers on this side. And so with animations, can you see my
Gotcha.
animation?
Okay.
Okay, so with animations, there's this animation pane that shows up, and I can
Mm-hmm.
choose in what order things
Okay.
show up. So what I had done is I said, I want this to be my first click. And so I hit dissolve. That's just the animation that I like. And then that became number one. And then I came over here, I highlighted, and I clicked dissolve, and that became number two, and so on and so forth. So it went back and forth just like that. That just seemed to be the easiest way for me to do it. If anyone wants any more specific instruction on how to do some of this, I'd be happy to help.
That looks so much easier because I did go to the Trivia Maker app and there was just so much more involved with that one. This looks like something really workable that I could do with other groups. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Glad it could be helpful. Okay, stop share. All right. Any other questions from anyone on
Hey,
this?
Shannon, Harold here.
Hi.
I'm looking at my screen and everything else, and I'm not finding a settings icon anywhere
For Zoom.
for Zoom.
Okay. So let me share my windows. Give me one moment, please. Okay. So I'll share my desktop. So you see my mouse here?
Yeah.
So I have a couple of ways to do it. I can either go to down here, either the microphone or the video camera, the caret next door to each of these. If I click on that menu, video settings, if I click on that, that pulls up my
Gotcha.
my ground control. And so this is how I can go through all of these different settings,
Got
which
it.
is where the background was, et cetera, et cetera. So you can either go to it from that way. It's also here next to mute, by the way. So audio settings is here. Boom, it just goes to audio automatically. The other way you can do it is through they call it a client, the Zoom client. So down here at the bottom of my screen where my Zoom application is, if I click on that, do you see this window pop up?
I can't see the bottom of your screen.
Let's see.
It's below.
So
It's below
you-
visual. Yeah, but that's okay.
Oh, you can't see.
The way you did it
So-
is fine. The way you did it is fine. I don't need to know another way. That's fine.
Okay, okay, sure. No problem. But you can pull up the Zoom client. Do you see this white window,
Yes.
everyone? So this is, you'll see this a lot when you're going in and out of Zoom meetings. This gear rather, is your settings, and that pulls up the same thing. And so you don't even have to be in a meeting to adjust some of these things.
Yeah. See, now that's the one. I'm not seeing that gear setting anywhere on my screen.
You're
So I'm
not
going to have
seeing-
to see if maybe I need to get this out of full screen. Maybe that'll
Perhaps,
show it.
yes, out of full screen. And have you updated your Zoom application?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
Probably not.
Trang, please help me to remember to put that link for how to update Zoom before
Sure.
we leave. Okay, great. Anyone else questions about trivia? No. All righty.
I have a video question.
Yes.
The background, when you had to do when I do the background, it really distorts my picture. Is it because I have an old system or?
It could be that. You'll see, my hair, it's very thin anyway, but anything that is like not a very clear outline is going to shift in and out, and it almost has this ghost-like appearance. So Marilyn, she's fairly solid down there, but if she were to move or if she were to step back away from her camera, then it's going to be a little bit harder to see her clearly. It's just sort of the nature. Oh yeah, Judy. It might be,
It's weird.
yeah, it might be your computer and just the function. I know that my Mac laptop that I had for 5 years would not support this unless I had a green screen. And so I updated my computer and now I can do it without the green screen. It would be better with a green screen. It can sense, but anything else that I'm missing, Trang, on any of that?
I think you covered it. I did put the link to how to update your Zoom client in the chat, so if people need it. And I will say, like, I just updated it last week and there's already an update. I just checked right now and it says I have another update. So Zoom does push out their updates pretty frequently. So just keep that in mind.
Thanks, Trang. And that does help with functionality. Absolutely. Okay, so moving on, I am going to ask you to participate in a poll with me today. So back to the subject of singing, music, dance, movement, things like that, and how that might be incorporated into a meeting to make it more fun and engaging. I wanted to experiment a little bit with you. So I'm going to, I think I'm sharing my Zoom controls. I need to not do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to poll you. And okay, so hopefully that's coming through for you now. We could all participate in this. So, do you think it would be fun to create a virtual chorus with your group members during your holiday meeting? So yes, absolutely. Maybe, I'm not sure how it would go over. No, I think that's a terrible idea. So be honest. And regardless of your answer to question 1, would you be willing to sing a holiday song with your fellow support group leaders today and learn how you can do this with your group? Sure, maybe, no way. And then lastly, okay, so now that we're all on board to sing together, hint, hint, which song shall it be? So I've got some good ones. Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, Brenda Lee, that's the classic one. Let It Snow by Dean Martin. Frosty the Snowman, Gene Autry. Walking in a Winter Wonderland. Or Jingle Bells. It's funny, Jingle Bells is looking to be the clear winner, and it's my least favorite of the options. And you'll see why. Maybe I'll show you a couple of versions.
Shannon, it's the easiest one to sing.
It's the easiest one. It's the most well known, isn't it? This one's a little cheesy, I have to admit. I couldn't really find a nice snazzy version, but you'll see why. All right, so most people have answered. So thank you for being willing to give this a try. I know some people are not excited about it, but it'll be interesting for you to watch at least. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. Okay. I need to stop sharing my screen as well. So many different options here. All right. Okay, so you'll see as I continue to offer these polls, you know, what they can do. It was nice to be able to get a clear answer. Wow, Jingle Bells really won. Yeah, and the next one is Walking in a Winter Wonderland, which is probably my second least favorite, which is why it's fourth from the bottom. But I'll show you some reasons why. Okay, so see, I'm going to get rid of that. Now, how do I want to do this? So I think that we will experience it first, and then I will show you as a host what it requires from the back end. All right. So what I'm going to do is share to share my web browser with you. And Trang, if you can let me know if that is working. Yes. Okay, good. So, Jingle Bells, I love to sing. So here, if you're familiar with YouTube, most of us are, we're on it quite a bit these days. So I had found each of these songs on YouTube in a sing-along version. Okay, so think about what that is, a sing-along versus karaoke, right? So we don't want karaoke because that usually is just the background music, and it's just people having to sing by themselves, right? We don't want that. We want as much help as possible. So we want the lyrics as we would have in karaoke, but we want to have actual voices coming through as well so that we can sing along with it. Okay, so just keep that in mind as we do this. I'm going to expand here. Can you see my mouse moving? Mm-hmm. Yes. So here is where the full screen option is, and we want to do that so that the lyrics show up as large as possible on everyone's screen. I'm going to ask everyone now to mute yourselves. Please mute yourself, because the sharing the back and forth of video and sound is different at a different rate for every single person. So it's impossible for us to sing at the same time. Therefore, it would be a cacophony of craziness if we were to try to sing all at the same time. So you're going to hear the music. You're going to be singing with the music, but in your own space, and we can't hear anyone else. And I'm going to do the same thing because I do not want to be heard. So I'm going to make my screen as large as possible. Here, I am going to click play. I'm going to mute myself. Let's all give this a whirl. See how it feels as a participant doing this. Okay, see how it sounds. And I actually need to. I forgot to do one thing, which is very important. Okay, now I'm going to try this. Okay, here we go, everyone. See what it's like. Let's go for it and have fun.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight! Oh, jingle bells,
everyone. I'm going to stop sharing so I can see you. Did you sing loud and proud? I hope so. How did the sound come through, and did you see the lyrics? Okay. Was everything all right technically? Well, that's good to hear. Okay, so I guess I'll tell you the reason I didn't care for that one as much is just it sounded a little bit more like a children's choir. It wasn't maybe as sophisticated as it would, as it could have been. Whereas some of the other songs are the versions that we knew from the radio. Like the more famous singers. So it didn't feel quite so. I don't know, just too kids oriented or something. So how did that sound for you? Did it feel kind of too much like a kid's song?
No.
Not too bad? Okay. And Roger said it was okay. Okay, good. I'm glad that it didn't come across that way. I'm very aware of some of these things. I teach kids and I teach all sorts of different age ranges. And so I have to really think about what is appropriate for whom. Okay, so let's see. I see a message. Oh, okay, a fun find, Alvin and the Chipmunks. Oh my gosh, that would be great. Bringing that back. That's from the 80s for sure. Cool. Okay, so we are all children at Christmas. That's true. I am going to share my, where is that? It disappeared on me. I need to open my PowerPoint again. There we go. And get out of this. Excellent. Little buttons to click on constantly, but you get used to it, right? Okay, so my PowerPoint is here. I'm on the wrong page of it, but that's okay. I'll just push through. So we already did our trivia. Okay, so for those of you who are interested in doing this with your group, I have a little how-to list here. So finding sing-along versions of the holiday songs on YouTube is the key here. So we want the lyrics to be present, and we want the voices also to be present. So you don't want karaoke, or people will just be lost. And so what I have done prior to our meeting today, I had 5 songs picked out. So what I had done is opened each of those songs prior to the meeting, had them ready to go and queued up so that you didn't have to sit there and wait for me to find it. Okay, so that's really important for you to have already open on your web browser. And you can get any commercials out of the way. I don't know if you've noticed recently on YouTube, sometimes you'll open a video and then you might have a 15-second video, or a 15-second commercial. So just to keep that in mind, have it queued up. And then sometimes I experienced that the sing-along videos had kind of an internal commercial for a specific organization. And so if you want to queue it up and forward through that and have it paused and ready to go from the right point. So telling everyone to mute themselves is really important. Or you can mute them as the host, or the co-host can do that. So Trang, I believe I saw that you muted everyone, which was really helpful. There's a button to do that in the participants pane as a host or a co-host. So you can click one button, mute everyone, and that takes care of it. So from there, you're going to share your screen. Okay, so the green button that you have on the bottom center area of your menu bar, that is where you share screen. When you open that share screen window, you have different options show up for you as far as all the applications that are open on your computer. So you're going to be selecting the web browser window that has the song that's open and ready to go. That's the one you choose. Now, this is the step that I had forgotten to do myself. I caught it before we started, but we really need these 2 things clicked. So I'll show you in a second, but click on the 2 boxes at the bottom of the screen share window to optimize computer sound and video playback. And so that makes sure that people can hear your computer sound. That's a very special function. Otherwise, it would maybe just faintly be in the background for them. So it really needs to go through the Zoom application, and you have to click that button. And it's the same thing for playing a video. You need to have that selected so that it's a smooth as possible running video. It's not always perfect, but those two make a huge difference. You might remember that I made the YouTube video take up the full screen, and that button was found in the bottom right corner of the video itself. So mute yourself too, unless you want to be a star in a solo. Very important. And then press play on that YouTube video and sing your hearts out. And don't forget the dance breaks. Okay, so you can have everyone just be as fun and silly as possible. And hopefully people have a good time with that. So what I'm going to do now is stop my share. I'm going to show you the Zoom window. Oops. So you can see how to accomplish this. So I'm sharing my desktop with you now. Okay, so if I wanted to share my screen, this green button down here at the bottom, I click on that and it pulls up this window here. Now you'll see all these different options. Desktop currently right now is highlighted because that's what I'm sharing with you. But if I wanted to share Firefox Jingle Bells, that's what I would click. I would click on this and then I would click share. These two here are the magic buttons. So I need everyone to remember to share computer sound and optimize screen share for video clip. Okay, so those two things is what makes the quality of the sound in the video come through better. Alrighty. Okay, everyone, so I'll be sending these instructions to you if you do have the motivation to try this with your group. I do think it's fun, so hopefully you did as well. Any feedback as far as what it felt like on your end? You think it's worth doing? I mean, you can always talk about the how singing and vocal exercises are helpful for Parkinson's as well. So you can bring that in, more therapeutic idea.
I think because it's Christmas and Hanukkah, you can probably sell the idea more easily than other times.
Yes. Just hoping people feel a little bit lighter and happier, hopefully, or this is a way to make them happier. Let's see. And Andrew thinks it's worth doing. Okay, great. Thanks for that feedback. Well, good. Okay, so unless we have any other questions about that, I would love to jump into some breakout rooms. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you here just so you can see what we're going to be doing. So for your breakout rooms today, there are 2 prompts. So you can choose which one you would like. The first one is share your favorite holiday song or movie with the small group, or share a favorite holiday memory, tradition, or a meal. Okay, so I'd love to have you select one of those to share with your group members. And then after that, after everyone has done that, then it's your chance to brainstorm fun ideas for your holiday meetings. So things that you've done, things that you've seen done by other people, or just crazy loony ideas that you might have that could work. And in the spirit of experimentation, we're just trying to make things as fun as we can in these strange times. So I think people are willing to go out on a limb with you and experiment. Okay, so we're breaking out. It's obviously a way for people to share. And again, we're modeling this within this roundtable, but I would like you to think how you could potentially do this with your groups. Okay, so how might you do your breakout rooms? What kind of prompts would you give them to talk to one another? 4 to 5 people is an ideal number for folks inside of each small group. Today, during this roundtable, we're going to do randomly selected breakout rooms. Once everyone gets there, please designate a leader of your group who is going to help facilitate the sharing of everyone, take notes on participants' ideas, and report back to the larger group. Okay, so during this session, you'll have about 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes to share and brainstorm. 10, let's go for 10. And I'll send you a halfway notice, so I'm not going to, give you 2-minute increments, things like that. I'm just going to say about 5 minutes in, I'll say it's halfway. You'll receive a 30-second warning before coming back. And then the small group leaders will share back to the main group, and I'll take notes for everyone so that I can send that back out to everyone after the fact. And hopefully you have some great ideas for your meetings. Okie dokie. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so I'm going to do my breakout rooms now. And 4 to 5. Okay. And when I do this, I have the ability to copy and paste the questions and put them in the chat. So you'll see here, share your favorite holiday song or movie, tell us your favorite holiday story, tradition, or meal, and then brainstorm fun ideas. Did that show up for everyone in the chat? So I needed to do that ahead of time because once you're all in your small groups, I can't send chat messages to you. Okay, I can just do the notification at the top, the small thing, but you can have these to reference when you're in there. Okay, everyone, I'm going to create the groups now. Looks like we've got groups of 5 and 4. So I am going to send you all off to your little rooms. Have fun chatting with one another. And let me just make sure here. I'm going to do a little switcheroo. Boom. There we go. Okay, I'm going to open all the rooms. I'll give you a 5-minute warning. Make sure to have a leader take notes. Okay, see you in a little bit. Again, Trang. And I'm going to share my screen. Let's see what I want to do. And there we are. Boom. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure if that came through. I'm gonna do this again.
Did you want us to see all your stuff?
No,
Like right now
I need
it's showing all your stuff.
Thank you. I need to not share all of my Zoom windows. Keeping all that straight, I need someone telling me what they're seeing, so thank you for that. Okay, now I'm going to open my PowerPoint, which is where I'm going to take notes for all of us. I'm going to get rid of this animation so it's as large as possible. Okay, everyone, so we had 4 breakout rooms. If we could please have room number 1, we had, so Freddie, can you let us know who was the leader of your group, please?
I think that was Harold.
Thanks, Freddie. Harold, you are on. How did it
Hello, how
go?
are
And
you?
when did you
Not
have
bad.
some good ideas come in?
Well, we shared Christmas stories with each other. All of us had different stories of the most fun Christmas we had, and we thought that was the really good idea to share those. Plus, and I can't remember her name. She had the Golden Gate Bridge behind her.
Barbara.
What's that?
That was Barbara.
Barbara. And Barbara also had a poem, a COVID Christmas poem that she was going to share with you, Shannon, in case you wanted to use it. We didn't actually go through that poem, but it was fun because we were listening to everybody had a different fun holiday story that would go to in their own memories. So that's what we thought was probably one of the easier things to do, than to just get to know each other better in that kind of a situation.
That's great to hear. You had, I think, 5 people in your group, and Barbara had to leave, but did you have 5?
Yes.
Okay, and so in 10 minutes, you were able to have each person share, and they had enough time?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, I guess so. We might have cut off our last participant a little because the excuse me, because it was just, we just kind of like ran out of time.
Yes, so 10 minutes maybe is a little bit short for a breakout room if you do this with your groups. And I only did 10 minutes with us today because we were running out of time. But hopefully, if you set aside 15, at least 15 minutes, then that really allows for nice engagement with your groups. Great.
Cool.
Thanks for that feedback.
You're
Good.
welcome.
Anything else, Harold, before I move on to the second
Go right ahead.
group? Okay, so room number 2, if we could have Sarah from Las Cruces. Can you let us know who your leader was, please? You there, Sarah? I'm not sure. I don't
Yes,
hear you.
sorry.
I think I was the leader of that one.
Yes, Juliana was.
Juliana. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Sarah. And thanks, Juliana. Please let us know what happened in your small group.
Well, we went through each one of the questions. We were talking about music. The group really liked the anything a cappella from Pentatonics.
Ooh.
And Go Tell It on the Mountain and Sound of Music. Then we talked about favorite Christmas movies.
Okay.
A lot of them, like one is A Christmas Story, Home Alone. The ones that they usually show, Polar Express, Charlie Brown, Christmas Special.
Oh, that's a good one.
And How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Love Dr. Seuss. Great.
And then we talked about food. Fondue was one of a favorite one. Chinese food on Christmas Eve, chili on Christmas Eve, and then they would go caroling. Potluck dinner, oyster soup and homemade eggnog.
Ah.
And then one of our participants said that at midnight, the kids would grab pots and pans and spoons and start banging and clanging at midnight.
How fun.
Christmas Eve. Another thing was to collect Christmas ornaments from different travels.
Wow. That's great. It sounds like
Yeah.
there was lots of sharing of favorites and ways that they feel the holidays are special to them, things they can recreate maybe. So with your groups, do you find that the questions, the prompts that I gave to you today to model, do you feel like those could be nice points of conversation for your group members?
Yes.
Easily accessible, some favorite foods, things like that for people who are a little more shy, more introverted. And then if someone's a little more extroverted, they can tell a whole story if they like. That's great. Did anyone have any ideas, additional ideas for fun things to do on your group meetings as support group leaders?
Shannon?
Yes, Heidi.
Eddie.
Hi.
Sorry, I apologize to everybody. I had a new parkie call me, and I have to speak to them right then because they've had the usual, you've got Parkinson's, see me in 6 months, and they don't know where they're at. So that's where I've been. Sorry.
No problem.
I just want to mention that what I do is I get plays. And you can get them, go to Scripts on the internet and go for free scripts. And you can get all kinds of plays. And then you can hand them out at your meetings and they can read them. And one of the best ones is 12 Angry Pigs. And if any of you remember the 12 Angry Men, there was a movie about it. They were in the going through a trial, and they were trying to decide whether to kill the person or not or whatever. Anyway, this is pigs. And so my people would have those parts. We also had Red Riding Hood. We had a little boy who went from and fed pigs and talked to them. But we went through the exact same thing they did. And when my people started to read, and my mantra is move it, move it, move it, and sing out loud. And we heard the best oinks you have ever heard in your life. And it was, they would read it and then oink, oink. And then it became competition of who could make the most attractive or annoying oink. I'm telling you, do that, get them. The other ones we've had are anything, Shakespeare, you can get that all the time. And what we would do is just change some of the language. And it's fun and it gets them speaking. Remember, so many of our parkies are alone. One of the spouses have passed away. So there is a lone parkie that doesn't get a lot of communication. And so the voice begins and the go, and that it works great, really. And not make a play up.
Wow.
Characters, say, what character do you want to do? What do you want to talk about? And so we talk about one time we talked about robbing the American Mint or a bank of some kind. How would you set that up, you know? And so somebody had to be the leader, and there were the others. But I'm sorry, I walked away. I could hear it, but I still had, the parkies come first.
Absolutely. That's why we're here, right, Hetty? We're here for our group members.
Everything you were saying, it was fun, and it's tough. This is very tough. It's like a war. We have a war on our hands, and because I was in World War II, so I know what I'm talking about. In Great Britain, I was there all during the war.
Wow.
So,
Isolation.
this is a war, and we have to fight it, but we are Americans, and we're the best country in the world. We've just got to get it on target. So I will shut up.
Hetty, thank you so much for your wonderful ideas and for being so supportive to your group members and your hopefully a new group member that you talked with today. So wow, that's a great idea. I love the scripts idea. And then if it might be more difficult remotely, but creating a script and just that different, just the different task of creating content, you know, and is wonderful for the mind and the heart as well. So thank you for those suggestions. Fantastic. Okay, so we were in room number 2. We just heard from Juliana, who I believe had to leave. If anyone else from group 2, David, Marilyn, Roger, Sarah, have anything to say, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the 3rd group. Okay. So Hetty, you weren't in the breakout room, sounds like, but Joyce, Lauren, and Mark Woodward were all there. So if they could let me know who was the leader of their group.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Lauren.
It was Marianne, not Mark. She's using her husband's iPad, if that's okay.
Okay, sure.
So our group, we just briefly talked about our favorite movie and song. And then we went on to ideas of things that we had done with our groups or families. So not necessarily our support group, but smaller groups of friends or families that were successful on Zoom. A couple of things that came up was with my group personally, we played 2 truths and a lie, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was a great way to get to know each other. We prompted everyone with, you know, the rules of the game in advance, told them when they come into the meeting, be ready, you know, write everything down if you need to. It was a great, I knew some of these people for years, and we learned some stuff about them that we never knew. So that was a great thing to do, and it was so much fun.
Love that.
Another thing that we didn't get to that was a good idea was we had everyone send in baby pictures to one person, so that just one person would be, the host would be sharing their screen, and we were going to put up the baby pictures and have everyone guess. But we had so much fun with Two Truths and a Lie, we didn't even get to that. So we're saving it for the future.
Right. Yes, that can be done anytime.
And then Marianne said that she has played a game called Code Names. You can get a virtual version, which I'm going to look up. It sounds like so much fun, but she said it's better for like a smaller group of family or, small group of friends. I've done that with Fibbage, which is another game that you can play over Zoom.
Lauren, what was the name of this? Was it a code name?
Code Names.
Okay.
And then Fibbage is another one, but that one's a little bit more challenging and for smaller groups. But I know our support group has kind of broken off into a lot of smaller groups that meet on a regular basis. So it could be fun for that, or for families to play.
Great. And that's something you can, I would think, look up online and learn what the rules are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. I'm not familiar with that. So
both Fibbage is from Jackbox Games. You do have to pay for the game, and Marianne said that Code Names you have to pay for that also. But I know with Jackbox it's like $20 and you pay for a handful of games that you own forever, and you have a choice of different games.
Okay. I don't know about this.
No,
so
no, Code Names was free.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was free?
Okay. It was free. I'm sorry. I meant you can buy the box game at a retail store, but online it is free. Thank you.
Good. That's even better.
Okay, I'll try to make a note of that this can be legible later. Oh, that's great. I love those ideas of games and being able to do that online. It's hard, isn't it? to maneuver sometimes as we see.
But Shannon, this is awesome to share ideas like this. This is a great meeting.
Oh, good. I'm glad you think so. Yes. And hopefully we can continue to add to this list, right? As we stay on for a few more months until we get the vaccine.
Yep.
Perfect. Anything else, Lauren? I
think that was about it.
Wonderful. Thanks. Great ideas. All right. The fourth group, we've got Judy, Ken, and Peggy. And I'm not sure if someone had to leave, but who was the leader of that group, please? Judy from Sun City, if you could let me know who your leader was. Not sure where you are.
She's saying her.
I'm trying to. I'm trying. We had 4, but one of us didn't quite make it onto the screen. So there were just 3 of us there.
Okay.
Ken and Peg from Pittsburgh.
Wonderful.
We sort of deviated from the topic, of course.
No problem.
We talked about the holiday movies on Hallmark, know, those sappy romance movies.
Yes.
A couple of us got kind of hooked watching those every season. And let's see, we talked about more how we used to spend the holidays versus how we spent them this year. So, you know, a little different there. We didn't quite get to the songs and things like that, but
no problem.
More or less, Peg was saying that she used to travel a lot for the holidays. So this year was her first year in over 20 years that she stayed home and had a tree. And, you know, so yeah, I think that was about it. If I missed anything, Ken and Peg, I'm trying to remember. But we sort of got off on talking about the movies and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And spending Zoom on Thanksgiving on Zoom and, you know, things.
We talked about sharing pictures, you know, and a lot of times we just talk about, you know, face to face, but then a lot of times, you know, people want to share pictures of their grandchildren or the favorite place they went to, and have sharing memories that way.
I love the visual part of that too, where you might, in a support group meeting, you might have members you've gotten to know over time, but you maybe don't know what their families look like. And so I always enjoy having that visual image. And so it just makes me feel closer to people when I can see and imagine who they're talking about when they're talking about their families and friends. And then, yeah, like sharing a photo album almost with a good friend, vacation pictures. You feel like you're there. It's just a different level of engagement, isn't it? When you can really see what they've done and experienced. I love that. So perhaps an idea taken out of that would be allowing everyone in the group, or teaching them, you'd have to teach them how to share their screen and then they could potentially share a photo or two, and have that be their show and tell for the meeting, and it would just be an added benefit to have the visual there.
Yeah, one of my support groups, we did do, this is a while back, we did do pictures of ourselves when we were young, having to guess who everybody was, but that was fun.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we amazingly are already at the end of our time today. I'm going to just briefly move on to my final slide, just in that we are coming to the end of 2020. So hopefully that's a new beginnings, and happier times next year. I wanted to just let you know briefly that I plan to delve into some more support group ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, the fundamentals of support groups, and some deeper dives into some different topics that I have led at our regional workshops across the country. So I figure we're not really able to do a whole lot of that right now. Well, we can't do any in person. I'm doing some regional workshops online, but I'm imagining that I can whittle down some of the modules that I've taught in person and offer that content to you across the country. Since we're here together, might as well do that. I wanted to put it out there, the round table that we have next month in January. Shall we discuss planning for 2021? What does that look like? Do we want to brainstorm what that could be? Are we going to plan on Zoom for most of the year, in person at some point? What do we want to do? Do you want speakers? Do you want to have more discussion, smaller groups, things like that? So just let me know. I'm offering you to contact me, let me know what you need, because that's what I'm here for, is to help you. So I'm always open to hearing topics, Zoom functions, group meetings in general, leadership skills, whatever it is that you are interested to learn about as far as being a support group leader. Please do contact me via email at shannon@pmdalliance.org. And I would be happy to create some new modules and some new trainings for you. So you just need to let me know what you need, and I'm here for you. Alrighty. Well, thanks to everyone. Any last words before we say goodbye?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you, to everyone, and let us all stay safe. That is the priority here.
Thank you for being there for us this year.
Absolutely. You've helped me as well. So thank you for, being consistent and showing up and giving each other your ideas, because that's what we're here to do, is to help support each other. Roger, I feel like I saw your lips moving, but not any sound. Let me help to unmute
you. Need to hear it. Let's all give Shannon 24 hugs.
I love it.
You are a super leader.
Aw, thank you, Roger. Well, I appreciate you being here and for your kind words, everyone. I'll be sending a little follow-up there's anything special you'd like, let me know. And yes, all my best to you. I'll be seeing you over the next couple of weeks at support group meetings and things like that. So yes, sending love to everyone. Thanks so much.
This is Betty, Shannon. Shannon,
Yes, Betty, yes.
do you have a little time? I have 6 inches of snow right now.
Oh my goodness.
Where are you?
I got 4 inches the night before last, and I got another 6.
Where are you, Hetty? I can't remember.
I'm in Traverse City, Michigan.
In Michigan. Ooh, you're up there.
Yes. Yeah, way up north.
My goodness.
Top of the mitten,
I'll be not quite that far,
but close enough.
I've got, yep, I have my cross countries out. I don't downhill anymore, but I've got my cross countries ready.
Wow, that's a great workout.
Oh,
Goodness.
it is. And I'm on a golf course, so.
Nice flat and well, maybe little rolling hills. Perfect.
Have fun, everybody.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
you too. Bye, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Shannon.
Take care. Bye, David. See you, Judy. Bye, everyone. Bye, Marilyn, Peggy, Hetty, and Arthur.